morning, everybody. Whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world, this is Coast to Coast. Got everybody in the house. We had a kind of terrible game last night for about 50 minutes of it. But before we get into that, Pags, tell us where you're going today.
I am on the road to Pittsburgh. We are setting some stuff up for the NFL draft. I am going to be throwing the first annual World Series of NFL. We are having a poker tournament for charity, and this trip to Pittsburgh is to take care of some of the specifics on that.
Can you show what the charity is? Like what type of charity y'all are doing?
Actually, that's part of one of the trips. Part of the reasons of the trip. I am picking out a 501c.
Except he's not.
What did you say? It's a 501.
There we go. Am I back?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's basically they're checking out the charity they want to use.
Got you. Okay. He looks so happy and peaceful there.
It's funny.
All right, I'm back now. I think I'm back now.
We'll find out.
Oh man, it's going to be
That's
a good
awesome
one.
that you guys are doing that for charity, though, man. That's always a good thing. I'm just
Yeah,
curious to see what charity gets to benefit.
So, truth of the matter is that I won't know that until we get a winner. So, 25% of the money is going to go to a Pittsburgh charity specific. The winner is going to get, 25%, 50% is going to go to the winner. The other 25% is going to go to second place. So, 3 charities are going to benefit from this poker tournament.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
And like I said, we're looking to raise a minimum of $20,000 with the hopes of maybe hitting a lot more.
Yeah, I'll definitely be saying a prayer for that because I'd like to see you guys hit a lot more. It's always good to see when people can benefit from those things through those charities, depending on what your charity is. There's a lot of really good charities out there.
Yeah, one of the things that I'm doing as part of this trip is I'm trying to connect with Charlie Batch. You guys may remember him as
I do. Quarterback
for the Steelers.
Was he also with the Lions? I think it was the Lions.
He
He
was.
was with the Lions for a while too, yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's a Pittsburgh native, which is why that is. And in the midst of all this, I'm also, because there's another big Pittsburgh guy who is, part of that community, even though he doesn't live there anymore. And I'm going to see if I can get him involved as well. I'm not even going to say his name just yet because I want to manifest it in my head before.
I'm going to manifest. Maybe he has a podcast on ESPN. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think it's on ESPN anymore. I think he got kicked off ESPN. But yes, we're on the same boat. Sometimes he wrestles.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Because that would be it. And I would imagine that would be the individual that would get involved. Because like you said, that's his hometown. I can't imagine him not wanting to participate in something like that. That would be really cool.
Yeah. So again, I don't want to speak out of turn because, like I said, he's probably going to be really busy that week.
Sure.
I really wish people would learn how to drive in the fast lane.
Oh no, Pags. No, that never happened.
This guy is like going super ass slow, and I got another guy in front of him who doesn't know how to get this guy to move. Like,
yeah, welcome to the world. Should have picked a Xanax.
No, you don't want me on Xanax.
Man.
Yay! This is already a great trip.
That being said, there was a terrible game yesterday. And Rob, you're right. AFC side of things really was kind of throwing some clunkers out there. But it showed you that the Steelers really were frauds. You kind of knew they were. But what's happening, Sam? But they were bad everywhere. And they had some opportunities, but their receivers couldn't catch anything. And DK had hands of stone last night. He dropped a couple in the first half. Rodgers went away from him. He finally gave him another shot in the third, which he promptly dropped also, and basically never saw another opportunity. The other receivers were also dropping balls. So the Steelers actually had some opportunities. If you have the ball hitting you square in the hands and you can't catch it, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. You're not going to win.
And I said it depends on what kind of version of DK Metcalf you get,
Right.
as to how that's going to happen. But,
Hey, but at least they spent a lot on him.
Exactly.
yeah, they did.
But
I thought they didn't go to Valdez Scantling enough. I thought Valdez Scantling, I thought he's usually really good with the ball, especially on the deep ball. And I felt like they didn't go to him nearly enough.
he didn't have time to throw a deep ball anyway. But MVS has about a 50% catch percentage. So it's not like he's a great catcher of the football. He's fast. But there's a reason Seattle brought him on the roster and then immediately let him go. He didn't catch the ball particularly well. And he hasn't through most of his career.
Yeah.
So
Well, I what I saw was that unfortunately they were stuck keeping Freiermuth in the block because the offensive line was having a hard time throughout the entire day, and he was the only guy that was catching the ball. So it's a shame that the offense couldn't figure out, hey, listen, maybe we should go to a 3 tight end set, bring in the extra defensive guys, have one guy go long, and then get Freiermuth, who was in double and triple coverage and still catching the ball.
Yeah. And let's not act like they didn't go against probably the best one of the best defenses in the league. I mean, Houston, that Houston defense, man, between Hunter and Anderson and so forth and Rankins, I love a fat man scoring because you get a fat man dance. Let's go, baby. Damn.
That's right from the replacements.
It sure hell was.
I mean, when you look at the playoffs like this year, you have a lot of good offenses in the playoffs, and then you also have like a lot of good defenses. Houston is the one team in the playoffs that is not going to need to rely on their offense a lot to win games. And their defense showed last night why. Like their defense at every single level, whether it's the secondary, the linebackers, or that defensive line, they have playmakers at all 3 levels. And if they can just hold teams under 17 points, the offense is going to get you 17 to 20 points. That's why Houston is like one of those teams that I don't think a lot of people want to play right now, just because you're going to have to score hopefully 24, 25 points, which is not easy against that defense.
No, but I mean, the Steelers showed that you can get open on that defense. Now, they couldn't capitalize on it, but you can get open on it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's not pretend like there was just no opportunities for the Steelers. Like, there was 5 or 6 passes that hit guys square in the hands. Like, I'm not even including the ones that, were kind of close. If you'd have made a real good effort, you probably could have got. I'm saying, like, straight between the hands, drop the ball. You can't credit the defense for that. That's literally them just not catching the ball.
Yeah, and I agree. And it's not like but it's not like Pittsburgh's receivers are just tearing it up throughout the regular season anyway. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the issues with DK have been there all season long. Now, and like you said, Scantling, a little bit, but it's not like these guys were tearing it up all season.
No, but so DK playing the way he did is a very DK thing. He will make.
Nobody knows DK better than you do.
Well, what's that?
I said nobody knows DK better than you do. He was a Seattle guy.
Well, the thing that's so frustrating about him, even if you get rid of the after the play penalties and all that, is when you watch him play, he will drop the easiest pass ever. He'll make the miraculous one-handed down the sideline over the top of somebody. He'll make that catch. And then you'll have him run this little out route. It'll hit him square in the hands. No chance. And you're just like, I don't understand. Like,
you've been making that these gloves. Why are you wearing these gloves? They ain't doing you no good.
You've been making that catch since Pee Wee football, and somehow can't seem to bring it in. So again, glad he's not on our team anymore. But if you're a Pittsburgh fan, like, you got to be mad.
It will be.
You know who I thought had really good hands on your team? It's too bad that Tennessee got him instead of Pittsburgh. Is I thought Tyler Lockett. Tyler Lockett was a hell of a. I saw that guy make all kinds of great catches.
Well, I mean, he didn't stay with Tennessee. He finished the year with the Raiders.
Well, no, I'm saying he went to Tennessee, and then I think he went to the Raiders. I believe, correct? I know, or maybe he went to Raiders Tennessee, but I know he was in Tennessee for a little short period of time as well.
Yeah, so Tennessee brought him in and didn't use him, and then they let him go to the Raiders.
That's what I was. But either way, you're right. I think Tyler Lockett was the better catcher of the two. I know DK's physical, but
thinking about it in the right way, had Pittsburgh kept Pickett, imagine Pickett instead Pickens instead of Pickett instead of DK.
It would have been better.
Pittsburgh wins that game.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
He's a better route runner, more disciplined route runner, which would have been way better for Rodgers.
And catches the ball.
Yes.
Probably could have been the difference of about 2 wins, maybe more.
The biggest thing for Rodgers is he expects you to be supposed to be.
Right.
He doesn't have a receiver that does that on their roster.
Mm-hmm.
MVS, he's a huck it up and I'll try and get under it. And DK is I run a super lazy route.
Mm-hmm.
Like DK, if he actually ran crisp routes, would be open all the time. But because he rounds him out, he helps the defender stay on him.
And you saw Rodgers get angry about that with his quarterback coach talking about that very thing, where he felt like, hey, these guys aren't where they're supposed to be. Yeah, he was getting very animated about that.
It will be interesting to see that
type of stuff for years. And it doesn't matter which team he's on. If you're a guy that runs a route either lazy or you're in the wrong spot, he is hot immediately.
It will be interesting to see if that was Rodgers' last game, though, just because the guy just looked defeated, like completely defeated, and I know a lot of it wasn't his fault apart from the pick six and the one fumble that was returned for a touchdown with really that wasn't his fault either because the offensive line decided not to block. But you could just tell like Rodgers looked defeated more so than I think he thought that was his last game. Just like I look defeated, but then you also have to look at Mike Tomlin. He has not won a playoff game since 2016. Yep. At what point now do you have to look at Mike Tomlin and be like, you've never had a losing season, but you haven't won a playoff game in over a decade or almost a decade?
Mike Tomlin is going to retire. They're going to So this is part of the Pittsburgh thing. The Pittsburgh Steelers will not fire him. They will mutually understand that he's going to retire, and he'll retire. He'll be let go from his contract, and ultimately after that, he will wind up. He'll spend 1 year in the booth, because they want him on CBS. They're going to pay him a lot of money to come there, and then he'll be back coaching again. That's what I foresee. I also foresee Aaron Rodgers not retiring.
I don't think he will either because I don't think knowing Aaron Rodgers and just how much he prides himself on his level of play on the field, I don't see Rodgers going out with a game like that. It's just a matter of does he go back to Pittsburgh or does he try to go somewhere else? That's the bigger question.
So there's a team that I think is ready for somebody like Rodgers right now. And that team wears purple.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh, man, that would complete the Brett Favre World Tour.
No, Favre didn't go to the Steelers. Favre didn't go to the Steelers.
No, but I mean, basically, because he spent 2 years with the Vikings, you could be like, okay, he spent one of them with the Steelers. Now you wrap it up. But the Tomlin thing is definitely interesting because I think if it was a closer game, he would be there. But because the score got so lopsided, they couldn't do anything on either side of the ball. I think you're right. I think that's a situation where they may decide to part ways with each other, especially when you end up with a year where, Harbaugh gets fired too. Just seems like a year that maybe the teams that don't normally let guys go are like, you know what? Maybe this is that time. And since they haven't won a playoff game since 16, and you fast forward to this where they looked inept in every way. It does seem like maybe it is the time to go. And that's a different position for me, because I've thought it was kind of a dumb conversation over the last couple of years. But after watching the way this team reacted during this game, it may be that time.
Yeah.
I'm wondering with the
agree.
Pittsburgh organization, the fact that they don't cut part ways from their coaches very often. In fact, they only have 3 coaches. The next guys they bring in, can they find another type of guy like Mike Tomlin who will keep them winning and take them? Or, are we going to start seeing Pittsburgh gradually not live up to that long tenure if they can't find a guy that's qualified like Tomlin or the other coaches that have been there?
So you may not necessarily see the consistency that you've had, but at the same time, you may have some higher highs with lower lows, right? And if you're sneaking in, which is what they did this time around anyway, and you get smoked in the first round consistently, I mean, it's not like a lot of these have been particularly close. Like they've gotten beat in the wild card rounds. So if you're looking at it that way, if you have a couple of years where you miss the playoffs, but then you have a couple of years where you can actually make a run, then yeah, you'll probably make that trade-off. Like, I like to be consistently in there, but if you can't do anything when you get there, then something has to change, right?
A name that I would watch, depending on obviously the Tomlin situation now, is Brian Flores. I could see Brian Flores going right to Pittsburgh and kind of just fitting right in with just the way ownership does things there, and just kind of, I don't think Flores will have to be like worrying about, oh, I'm going to get fired in a couple of years because of this. Like, it'll be like, you're here, it's your team, you just do what you got to do, and if we're consistently winning games, then you'll be here as long as you want to be here.
Yeah. Well, and Frankie, this is one of those things, right? Like, they score 6 points, 3 of them were off 3 turnovers. Like, if you can't and some of those were, I mean, almost in field goal range. Anyway.
Well, look at the one drive in the third quarter. C.J. Stroud fumbled the ball at his own 17-yard line.
No, that's what I'm saying.
When the Steelers went 4 yards in 7 plays.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean, some of these were set up in scoring range, and you end up with nothing. So it is a little, it's a little crazy. And so to answer this question here, where'd it go?
C.J. Stroud does need to
Harbaugh go to Pittsburgh. No, I don't think Harbaugh would go to Pittsburgh, because he's going to have the pick of whatever job he wants. That is not the most attractive job. That is a job that needs a lot of pieces, that doesn't have anything figured out, has a really expensive defense that wildly underperforms. You have a highly paid receiver that doesn't catch the ball consistently. Offensive line that lets your guy get smoked. You have no answer at quarterback. Like that doesn't seem like a real attractive job to me.
According to the reports this morning, Harbaugh is very intrigued by the Tennessee Titans opening.
Yeah, in fact,
they have a ton of cap space. He likes Cam Ward a lot. He likes the fact of having a young quarterback on a rookie deal that you can build around. And I guess he has a very good relationship with the team president or the GM.
I got you. I mean, he said that he was limiting his interviews to only a few teams. So
Tennessee's the one job that he says he's very intrigued by, just because of the cap space, having a young quarterback under a rookie deal, being able to use that cap space to build around that quarterback, and then obviously having some sort of relationship with the GM. He just likes the fit. Oh, and having the new stadium being built and all this other stuff. Like, it just seems like a good fit for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I also see for Pittsburgh, isn't Mike McCarthy a Pittsburgh guy?
That's the other guy that I thought might go to Pittsburgh. The only thing with Mike McCarthy is he's not going to be a guy that's going to be there a long time, because he's like 64 years old now. Like, he's not one of these guys that you can throw in there for 15, 20 years and be like, oh, you can just stay here as long as you want to stay here. Versus Flores is 44.
You could have him for a decade, though. 72, 74, like, we've seen that plenty of times now.
Well, you could, but would he want to coach that long? That's the thing. That's kind of like where it's like with Flores, he's 44, where if things are going well with Flores, he's going to be there for quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think if the next clear, he'd probably want to do it.
I think, McCarthy was the other name that I think would fit well in Pittsburgh, just because he is a Pittsburgh guy.
I don't think that goes particularly well, but I would be entertained to watch it happen.
You don't want him to work with Aaron Rodgers one more time?
I just don't think that would necessarily be a great fit. But at the same time, watching the Steelers get beat up is not something that makes me sad. So
I honestly don't think any of the open jobs right now are a good fit for McCarthy, realistically.
And how old is Brian Flores?
44.
Okay, so that makes sense. That actually does track.
Because I think Mike Tomlin got the job at 38 or 39. He took the job at Pittsburgh because he was the Vikings defensive coordinator for like 5 years, and he was their linebacker coach before that, and he took the job at 39. Now he's been there for 19 years, so he's 58.
Yeah.
That's why I say you get Flores at 44, stays for 15, 20 years. Now you're in your mid-60s, and then at that point, it's like, well, I just don't want to coach anymore, or it's like, I'll just go back to being a defensive coordinator for a couple of years and then be done.
Yeah, I mean, the 15 to 20 years is only if it goes well.
Yeah.
Right? Like, now, they've been able to hit on a couple of coaches back-to-back, but at the same time,
But Flores, I think, would be a huge benefit to their defense in Pittsburgh.
I mean, you're just not always going to hit a home run when you hire a coach.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you can be like, hey, this guy could be here forever, but he could be there for 2 years too if he's terrible.
That's what I was saying earlier. I felt like how many more times can Pittsburgh hit gold for coaches that can perform well for that long a period?
You could say the same. You could say the same. You could say the same thing with the Packers though regarding quarterbacks though. How many more times are the Packers going to strike on like getting an all-pro quarterback? You went from Favre to Rodgers to Love. Granted, Love's not at the same level as those two, but he's still proven to be like a legitimate starting quarterback. Like, how many times can the Packers continuously hit on a quarterback that they draft? At some point, you have to think their luck's going to run out just with Pittsburgh.
Well, I mean, it's not like Love's been amazing.
No, he hasn't been amazing, but there's still a lot of teams in this league that would take Love over who they have as a starter.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. He's kind of he's sort of middle of the pack there. Like, that's not. Yeah. If you're a team that doesn't have a quarterback and you're running a backup out there, sure, you'll take Love, but you're not. If you're a top 15 team, you're probably not trading your guy for Love.
I just think, going back to Flores, I just think that the Steelers culture and just the way that Steelers culture is, and just kind of the history of like the steel curtain and the history of having all these awesome defenses that have carried that team. You bring in Flores with a defensive mindset. You bring in Flores with that creativity that he brings on the defense, and just being in like a team that has that kind of culture. I think that's what they need to kind of get that defense to get back on track and start playing the Steeler football that everyone loved back in the day.
Well, I also believe that defensive coaches traditionally last longer as coaches than offensive-minded coaches. Now, like Harbaugh's not even an offense or a defensive coach. He's a special teams coach.
Yep. So was Sean Payton. So was Sean Payton before he got the Saints job. He was a special teams coach.
Right, which forces them to have good relationships with their offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators. I feel like that's really I think the best case scenario. When you have a coach who knows how to coach special teams, that means that they are, I feel, very eclectic when it comes to dealing with everybody on the team. That they're very good and they have a good psychology. Because the guys that you're getting on special teams are like, I'm as funny as I say this, the bottom of the barrel. They're not really the bottom of the barrel. They are, like just the guys that were throwing together, the fourth and fifth stringers that have some talent but don't really have enough to be able to make the team just yet. And I think that gives you like a good psychology of everybody.
No, that's true. And what
I mean, they gotta work with the offense and defense absolutely
Mhm.
when you're building special teams.
And what
units.
you said about the defensive coaches lasting like longer too. When you look at offensive minded head coaches, they're always seen to be kind of like that new sexy toy that everybody wants to have because they have all this offensive ingenuity, all this offensive creativity. But once a defense figures out your offensive scheme, a lot of times it's very hard to kind of adjust to a new scheme because you become so accustomed to that scheme you're doing. Versus as a defensive coach, if you can stop a good offense, you're going to stay around for a while because once you figure out how to stop a good offense, then everyone is going to kind of follow the plan that you did to stop that team. So then you'll be able to stay with your organization longer because you're figuring out ways to stop high-powered offenses versus having defenses stop your offense.
Well, and that's why Pittsburgh has had the longevity of coaches throughout their tenure, throughout their lifespan. Because all the coaches that they hire typically are defensive-minded coaches.
And what people forget to realize about Flores, who was the only team that hired him after he sued the NFL when he got fired from the Dolphins? Mike Tomlin brought him in as a linebacker coach. That first year after he got fired from the Dolphins, he worked with Mike Tomlin. He worked in that organization for 2 years, and then that's when he jumped ship and went to the Vikings to be the defensive coordinator. So the Steelers already have proven like they're not afraid to bring that guy in, even when all the legal allegations and all the the legal suits that he was doing against the NFL right away, they didn't care. They still brought him in. They're like, I understand that you're suing the NFL. We'll let you coach the linebackers and be a defensive coordinator, and you can keep suing the NFL. Just do your job here and let the rest of it play outside the organization, which they did.
That just shows that they have a relationship. So I wouldn't be surprised if they brought him in.
Yep.
And like I said, it kind of fits their MO.
Yeah.
But Tomlin,
Yeah, Dallas has to
Tomlin
find
does
a
retire.
defensive coordinator. Dallas has to find a defensive coordinator, and I don't know who they're going to run and bring it in.
That being said, we said all of that. Tomlin's coaching next year. You know what? We're going to run it back.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the problem is, though, is that he's on his last year as a coach. And going into a lame duck year, I mean, there's a reason why the Steelers have never done that. They have either re-upped him with a year left to go.
Yep.
Or back with the last two coaches. Chuck Noll retired with 1 year left. And so they all do the same thing.
He has 2 years. He has 2 years left, though. So I
thought he only had 1 year.
No, he's got 2. So he signed a 3-year extension last year. So this was the first year of his extension.
I think Cowher retired with 2 years left on his contract too when he retired, but I think some of his was more health related as opposed to like not performance related.
I think what might keep him there is the fact that Rodgers didn't look like he was necessarily going to pull the plug.
No.
So if he does come back, I could see them trying to do this one more.
Yeah.
Because then Tomlin would have 1 year left. Rodgers is definitely done after next season if he does come back. I could see them trying to run this back, even though it was ugly. They did get better as the year went.
Mm-hmm.
Coming down the stretch, they did play better football.
Yep.
So I could see a scenario where they try and bring most of this unit back. And if that's the case, then that would require Rodgers coming back and Tomlin still being there. And then I think they blow the whole thing up the following year.
Right.
But they definitely can't roll with that same offensive line, or unless they can improve it or something. They definitely need to do some work on that O-line if they want Rodgers to have a chance.
Well, I mean, obviously there's an off season that they still get. It's not like we're running it back. We're just going to ignore the draft and free agency. Like,
but you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing.
Well, again, I'm just saying.
Do well with free agency. The Steelers are traditionally very bad at free agency.
Yeah, it's the draft. It's the drafting that they do well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is they're doing free agency in a way to try and save money. I think if you know that this unit is gone after next season. Say you're bringing them all back, right? But you know that you're moving on from Tomlin, and you know that you are losing Rodgers, and a bunch of the stuff for the defense starts to come up. Not that it was a fantastic defense, mind you, but if you're looking at all of that, then maybe you make some bigger swings on 1-year deals in free agency, where you're like, hey, we'll give you a ton of money to come here for 1 year, and they're going to make one push, like all the chips to the middle, and then they know that whoever comes in after is, getting a clean slate.
Yeah, but I mean, how many guys are in that fit that mold? Like, listen, the first thing that you saw
it'll be
at
old
this
guys.
game.
It'll be old guys for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but like I'm talking about offensive line. I mean, like I said, Sayamalu. I mean, we talked about this. Bo and I talked about this before you guys came on. That play where the scoop and score from the fumble, where he got blown up, that is the epitome of Sayamalu. He is not a professional lineman anymore. He's a big guy, but that's about it. He doesn't have the wherewithal or the strength to be able to handle it. He was that way when he was with the Eagles. He was the weakest link, and I felt that, I was happy to see him go.
See, the Seahawks have that, and it's actually him, Scooby-Doo style. We have him as Bradford, but then he pulls the mask off, and there he is. Like,
well, hey, a lot of people I've been seeing Antonio Brown doing a lot of workouts on Facebook. Maybe they could bring Antonio in. Antonio can still catch the ball, a little psychotic, but maybe the second round will be better than the first round.
Nobody's trying to get that crazy.
And I know the guy's crazy, but I will say this on Facebook, the way his off-season workouts look on that Facebook videos, he's got some really good workout videos. I mean, he's still in really good shape.
He took his pads off and put deuces up running through the end zone. You know what he's never going to do is suit up in the NFL again.
I get it, man. Trust me. I understand how the whole blacklisting thing works. And, he's done some really bad stuff.
You literally quit the game mid-game.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not just get Terrell Owens? He's still in great shape.
Yeah, he can't see, though. Like that's the thing. No, he can't track the ball. That's why he never actually made the team here in Seattle. We brought him in. He was on our preseason workout. This was years ago now, but he couldn't track the ball particularly well anymore. So although he could still run and, get open, run routes, all of that, he just couldn't quite catch the ball.
I guess there's no amount of contacts can make him see the ball better. He must be. I mean, his eyesight must be really bad if that's the case.
No, it happens over time, man. Like,
yeah, I guess so. I got pretty good eyesight. I'm 53, even though I do wear glasses.
You're not trying to track a ball as fast as you can run.
But I don't run very fast. So it'd be very hard anyway. So there's that.
Well, but
make it easy.
Even if you're out there running like a sloth, if it's over time, it's going to be harder. Right?
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. So moving on into more NFL action here. So why did we have to wait until the games were over to get game times?
Because throughout the game they were announcing that if the Steelers would have beat the Texans, the Steelers would have been the late game on Sunday. But if the Texans beat the Steelers, then the Texans and Patriots are the early game on Sunday. I don't know why that would have made a difference. It's the same exact teams facing off. I don't know why that would have made a difference. But that's literally why they had to wait, because they didn't know who the heck was going to win that game. They had to be like, oh, whatever.
Well, it didn't make any sense. Like
we all knew whoever won the game last night was playing on Sunday. So that was already a guarantee because we're not going to have the team play on a 5-day week. You're going to obviously give them the 6 days. And we already knew the Bears and the Rams were playing Sunday. So it's just like, okay, we know what day the teams are playing. Like, it shouldn't have been that hard to throw the times out there.
Well, and you knew the West teams were going to own the primetime slots.
Yeah.
Like, there was no way you were going to not have that. I mean,
Well, I don't know. That's why I was confused when they said if the Steelers would have won, they would have put the Steelers as the late game on Sunday and gave the Rams and the Bears the early game on Sunday. I'm like, why does that make a difference?
no sense at all.
That's what they were saying throughout the broadcast. So that's why I was confused. Like, why would it make a difference on who wins, determining on who gets that late game slot? Why would Houston get the early game and Pittsburgh would get the late game? Why would it matter?
Yeah, I don't know how you would want the Steelers in the late game as bad as they were, right? Because clearly they're just making this up on the fly. You're like, oh, yeah, this team that can't score. So say they somehow snuck out of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's your primetime game. Now, to be
I
fair,
think it's because of the rivalry.
we've had some real trash primetime games this year, so they might have done it. But
I
I don't
think
know.
I think it's because of the rivalry of the Steelers and Patriots for one, and then both in the Steelers being kind of one of those historic NFL franchises where they know if they're in primetime they're going to get the viewership because Steelers do draw well for primetime.
I don't think that would have worked out. I think the Patriots would have just rolled the Steelers.
Well, I do too. I think they would have rolled them, but at least they would have got the viewership because you're going to have the Patriots who always draw well for primetime, and you were going to have the Steelers who always draw well for primetime. That's, I think, ultimately kind of why they kind of looked at it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad they lost because I didn't want to see another game of that Steelers team. It's just a bad team.
Yeah, well, and then Houston. So Houston gets New England, but Houston's probably going to, well, they will be without Nico Collins because now he's in concussion protocol. And I don't know how long that's going to last. That's what, is it generally 2 weeks when you go into concussion?
If you sometimes you can get by with a week, but being that they have a short week, it's pretty much impossible. He's going to get cleared on a short week because he's got to be cleared in 4 days as opposed to 6 days.
So that tells me that Kirk, who had a really good game against the Steelers, he's going to have another amazing game like that versus New England if they want to have a shot.
Yeah.
And Rob, you're right. Like the Sunday hours not being normal hours is also weird.
Because they have that Sundays already getting set up for championship weekend because next week is the championship games, and those are always 2 and 5. So the Sunday's schedule is just going to be set up just like championship Sunday already.
Yeah, but it's not. So the Sunday schedule is
2
noon
and 5.
Pacific and 3:30.
No, I saw 2 and 5.
No.
I saw the Bears and Rams are playing at 5 on NBC. That's what I saw this morning.
So noon and 3:30 your time. It's
that's what I
3
said.
at 6. 3 at 6. Is
Yeah,
how
which
they
is
normally
not-
do it.
Yeah. So it'd be 2 and 5 Central is what it would be.
Yeah, 2 and 5 Central. Yeah,
That's the same setup as what it would be for the championship games the following week. So they're just getting it set up for a championship game Sunday and running off that normal schedule.
That's weird. Yeah, I guess the Super Bowl is also that time.
Yeah, Super Bowl's always at like 5 or 5:30 kickoff. Yeah.
Super Bowl is always like a 6:30. Well, 5:30 your time.
But yeah, depending on where.
It's 3:30 mine, which is always great.
Yeah.
Gives people time to sober up before trying to go home.
Right.
Yeah, it's like except it's a 5-hour football game all the time. It's like 6:30 to 11.
Right.
Yeah, but see, on the West Coast, it still gets over at like a reasonable time.
Yeah, an 8.
Yeah.
So I can't wait till they go to an 18-game season and they push everything back an extra week. And at that point, they start on Labor Day weekend and then they end on President's Day weekend. And there's your football season with 2
I don't
byes.
know. They haven't figured out how to land the Super Bowl on a holiday or create one, right? They just make stuff up all the time anyway. Like,
Well, ultimately, that's what's going to happen. So here's the issue that they keep running into. How do you have a playoff game in February in Green Bay? The NFC Championship game would be in February and at home in Green Bay.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? Like, it's bad enough. Like, they don't want to have games at -6 degrees.
No.
They don't want to have that.
sure.
So
That used to be like a huge advantage for the Packers even like 10, 15 years ago. But now you ask a lot of players that even play for the Packers now, -6 degrees isn't an advantage for anybody. Nobody wants to play in that kind of shit.
No.
Yeah.
Right, and there's nothing that you're able to do, no amount of heated stuff
Right.
that it's like that keeps you warm. And if you're a guy who wants to be a man and not wear sleeves and stuff like that, all you're doing is getting frostbite.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
And the thing is that -6 is late February, or late January. Get into February and you're getting like -15.
Yeah.
I don't understand how some of those fans do it. I'm not a cold person at all. I hate the cold, but I see some of those fans in those games, and they ain't got no shirt on or no nothing. I'm like, how the hell is he doing that?
Oh yeah,
I'd be miserable doing that.
And that's the thing is people just call in Monday anyway. Like for the businesses that I owned, I actually just made that a company holiday because I knew you were going to come in and be absolutely useless to me anyway.
I just wonder if the Super Bowl is ever going to move to a Saturday. Knowing that so many people call in sick on Monday anyways, and just
there's history to it. They would rather move it that next week because then President's Day, every government person has it off.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So it's already kind of going to fall on one once they move this schedule around a little bit. So I mean, they're ultimately going to try and make it land that way anyway. But yeah, for me, whether it was my auto shop or my HVAC company, that Monday was a company holiday because I was already going to pay you to basically get nothing done and probably ruin some stuff because, well, you're hungover. So I just made it a paid company holiday. Do not show up. I don't want to show up either.
So
I can just see you, man. Bo be like, I need you to breathe in here, please. And if you're good, then you can work. If not,
no. I didn't even mess around because, again, I was in the trades forever, right? So I knew exactly how everybody showed up to work. So it's like, you know what? You are going to be much more of a problem than a benefit. Just stay home. Enjoy your day off.
I'll tell you, here's how they get around this. And when I think about the NFC and the AFC championship games, they will create a thing, and college football is creating the mindset on this now. The AFC and the NFC championship games will be at neutral sites.
I can see that.
Yeah. I've heard that. I don't know. I don't like that.
That makes sense. That makes sense in terms of how you now get your 18th week and not having the super freezing cold, fields.
Yeah.
Because Buffalo runs into the same problem in February.
Not anymore.
You're not going to have.
Not anymore. They won't with their new stadium.
That dome is an open air dome. It's
the field has heating underneath, so there's not going to be like any snow that piles up.
So does Green Bay.
Green Bay doesn't necessarily have that. Green Bay has they have a heating element, but it heats it only at 40-some degrees. It goes enough just to prevent the snow from freezing.
That's all it would be in Buffalo too. It's not gonna be a hot field.
No, but it's gonna theirs is actually supposed to be actually warmer than Green Bay's. Buffalo's is actually supposed to be in the 50s. Buffalo's is actually supposed to be even warmer than Green Bay just because of the elements that Buffalo has to face and how much snow they actually get.
Yeah, it makes sense that theirs would have to be higher to combat the volume of snow that would land on it. But I mean, it's not going to be warm, and it certainly isn't going to help the air temperature.
To help the wind. The wind in that stadium won't be as bad because it's going to be designed differently, which might help a little bit.
I mean, obviously, we're not talking about that. It can be warm and be windy.
Yeah. I'm going to miss those playoff games at Buffalo, though, when you see the snow just in the bleachers and the fans are just chucking snowballs onto the field for touchdowns.
Listen, their open-air stadium doesn't solve the snow from getting in. And that stadium, it's still going to get windy because think of Dallas. Even Dallas, when it snowed in there, when they had that open air stadium, because they made it very similar to Texas Stadium.
Yeah, they did.
And you would still get wind, you'd still get snow. When they have these blizzards, there's still going to be snow on those seats. Mm-hmm. Maybe not as much, but you're still going to see it.
Yeah, I thought that was always interesting when they rebuilt or when Jerry built Jerry World, how he left the hole in there. I'm like, I would have just closed that thing up, man. But he likes it. That's the way he loves it. Okay.
but he also can open up the whole stadium. So it's
And then
he spent $1 billion the right way. I tell people all the time. I said, out of all the away stadiums I go to, Minnesota is a very, very close second.
Mhm.
But I love going to Dallas. I mean, Jerry could say whatever he want about his team. He knew how to build a stadium.
Yeah.
And then you go to Green Bay, and not only are you sitting on freaking concrete, but you're sitting on metal bleachers that are like an inch above the concrete. So when you get a lot of snow and it gets cold, there is ice on those metal bleachers, and you're not getting that off, and you are not staying warm.
Yeah, you're going to stand for the game.
Like you are standing for the game, or you are just wearing so many layers that if you got to go to the bathroom, you are just going in your layers because you don't want to get up and take everything off.
Well,
I'm not going to pee on myself. That just sounds ridiculous there, Dustin. Do you telling me that you pee on yourself?
I do not, but I
feel like you pee on yourself. Is there a heated element there?
I feel like that's a daily event.
I know plenty of people like when they go to like super cold Packer games that winter that they will just pee in like their snow pants and like their gear just because it's a pain in the ass to get
There's
all that
no
out.
chance.
Well, I mean, first off, some of them are wearing Depends or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, in that scenario, maybe, but like that.
I can just see Bo at a game with Dustin, and Bo be like, "Man, hey, like I gotta go to the bathroom," and Dustin be like, "Nah, man, just let it flow."
That's right.
Well,
You're only cool.
Like I've thought about.
You ain't cool unless you pee your pants.
Here's the other thing. I've thought about, like, okay, you get a hose and you get that hose and attach it and you just have it go run down your leg. The problem with that is that
Breeze.
it's cold air's coming up. Doesn't quite work the way you want it to.
That's right. This segment brought to you by Depends.
That is the one thing that Lambeau Field really messed up on when they did remodel the stadium. Like they spent all this money remodeling that stadium, putting in all the new press boxes, like redoing the atrium and redoing all this stuff. But yet they kept all the metal bleachers. Like that is the one thing they should have been like switching.
Hey, look, that's the problem of living in an iconic stadium. You're right. You can't destroy it because it's iconic.
Yeah. They can't. If they were to put in seats, they'd lose. 8,000 seats. Yeah. Because that's the problem. Yeah, those seats aren't man size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
those are kid size, 18 inches. So you're stuck either way. And if you put in, you're done. Forget it. You can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin has never changed his diaper. He just keeps peeing in the same one.
Yeah.
He goes, I've got it good and broken in. There's no chafing. Why would I do it?
That's right. He wears it home, just wrings it out.
I just don't go to bathrooms during the games because
What are you talking about? That chair's a toilet.
Yes. Didn't you know that? Didn't you know that? I just don't go to bathrooms during games just because I know how long the lines are going to be, and just when I'm at Lambeau Field, I just know how congested it is. It doesn't make sense to get up in the middle of a game and try to maneuver your way through people.
That actually makes the chair colors make a lot of sense. It's more of a splatter.
I kind of thought that. Now I'm starting to see Lambeau Field in a whole new way.
Man. Well, that took a weird turn.
That did take a weird turn. Thank you, Dustin. No, that made me laugh this morning.
Pegs, if you ever go back to Lambeau for a game and you're just
he's not.
If you're just sitting by a bunch of Packer fans, ask how many fans that you're sitting by that have ever gone to the bathroom just in their layers that they're waiting on the seats. I can guarantee you that at least 70 to 80% of the people that you are sitting by will say that they have just gone in the clothes that they're wearing just because it's too much of a hassle to take all the layers off, put all the layers on when it's that congested and cold outside.
Well, yeah, I get that. The problem is with that type of thought process is that it starts to freeze because you're not getting warm, but you're doing that, and then it starts to get cold. And then it's like walking around in wet socks and shoes. Mm-hmm. You can't stand it because after a certain amount of time, it's like I got to get this shit off me. You know what I mean? Same situation. You still got to get it off at one point. You know,
I don't know. No, Rob, he's just saying he pees his pants. He didn't really say
I will hold it in, or I will go the moment I get to the game, and then I will wait until I leave. I will not leave in the middle of a game or at any
I
point.
can just see sitting next to somebody like that, and you're looking, and they're going, "Oh God,
Well, I mean,
it's so good."
What's the easiest way to solve the problem when people are charging, like Lambeau Field especially, when people are charging $12 for a freaking beer or $9.50 for a soda? I don't need a freaking drink that bad, so I just won't drink anything during the game, which helps me not have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, no, that's
Well,
the conversation starter. You go to the bar after the game, be like, "How many times did you pee your pants today?"
Even water, even water bottles at Lambeau Field are like $7 or $8 for a water bottle. Like I will bring in like my own water bottle that I will fill up before I get to the stadium, and when that's gone, that's gone. Like I'm not going to spend that kind of money for drinks.
Damn! And then you got to get your car to go home after the game, and you can smell the urine in your clothes. Oh, that'd be horrible! I can't do it. I'm staying home. Listen, if it's that bad, I'm gonna stay home and use my own bathroom.
I tell you, I mean, I have been to Lambeau Field now twice. I will tell you, I have no idea what the bathrooms look like.
Sure. Yeah, I never go use the bathroom during the game, but I mean,
You know, I went to the bathroom when we took the tour of Lambeau Field. So I went into the warm atrium that had a nice bathroom. But yeah, I have never used the bathroom. And
in that scenario, based on what the lines sound like, that might happen in your pants.
yeah, that's the other part about that. Like, what happens if you have to go number 2?
Well,
You have to go number 2, then you better hope you can hold it a long time.
I don't know.
if you want to try to avoid going to the bathroom, go ahead and take some hot yoga. You can sweat it out instead. Use the QR code on the screen. Free 5-day pass at any of the 3 locations: Bellevue, Ballard, University Village. And of course, if you happen to be in Bellevue at 1:30 tomorrow, you can do hot yoga with me. I will be in that class. So come out. That should be fun. Get your sweat on. Try not to pee yourself. The gym would highly appreciate. So you can bet on some of the games with us here on Coast to Coast. Use this QR code on the screen. Up to 125% of your first 3 deposits. 10% bet guarantee. In case you listen to Jay, use the QR code. Bet alongside us right here. All right.
Hey, if you go there, make sure you stop by the yoga bar. I heard they have great smoothies.
There's no yoga bar. You're such a crazy. Not to say that I wouldn't do it. If there was a yoga bar, like I could get into a margarita and some stretching. Like, let's go.
That'd be great. Do the downward dog while you're drinking your smoothie. I mean, why not? Shoot.
But no, it actually will be. It'll be a good one. My wife is actually teaching that class. It is her test out. So anybody that wants to go, it is a free class. So
let me run right over there.
Yeah, well, I mean, none of you guys are going to make it. I feel like you might be a little too far away. But obviously, if you're here in the Pacific Northwest, Bellevue's kind of in the heart of everything.
Exactly.
Hey, real quick, how many people on this panel can touch their toes? Stand up, just
can touch their toes.
Yeah, no, you'd be surprised how many people can't touch
right now.
Yeah, like I can as I sit here.
I can do it right now. I just touched my toes right now.
No, I mean, like, okay. Standing up, can you? Because that used to be one of the like to get in the army or whatever. They always had you had to touch your toes.
So you guys know? Do you guys know
what you're saying, Jay? We're just being assholes. We know what
you
you're
guys
saying.
know what you guys know what the sit and reach thing is? The sit and reach thing is that you did in school. Where you gotta kind of like lean forward and push that thing forward as far as you can push it. I can't even hit the stinking platform.
Wow.
Well, you should probably do some yoga.
I can't even like the plat without touching the platform. It's I think 14 inches. I can't even touch the little thing at all to push it forward.
Yeah, you. That means if you go and do anything athletic, you are gonna get hurt.
No, I've never had any injuries besides my one main injury where I had to basically quit sports. But outside of that, like I never get hurt in sports. My legs are fine. The only thing that I cannot stretch out is my lower back, which is why I can't lean forward to stretch the sit and reach thing. but I've never had any issues with my legs besides when I ripped my hamstring off the bone. That was it.
The sit and reach thing is your hamstrings anyway. That's
My
not your back.
Nope, could never touch that at all. Could never touch that at all in school.
Well, that explains why you tore your hamstring.
Yeah.
That was a great injury, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I tore mine also, so I get it.
24 months of rehab, and it still wasn't 100%.
Yeah, I didn't tear it off the bone, but I partially tore the muscle apart. And,
Yeah, mine when they took the X-ray, you could see like an inch gap from where my hamstring was supposed to be attached to the bone, and it was just nothing. And it's like that should not look like that. I'm like, nope, it should not.
Ouch, quit it.
Right. So there was a baseball question up here. We might as well touch on that before we get out of here. I think it was Bergman.
Yes, there will be baseball.
Yeah, Bregman.
Yes, there will.
5-year, 175.
Rob, I think you asked it. Drop it in
There's a 5-year, 175 million.
Yeah.
Hold for a second, Jay, so I can ask the question.
With deferred money.
Rob, throw your question back in there because I can't find it. There we go. Alex Bergman. There we go. So ask your question, though. What was your question about him?
He was just asking what we thought of the
75
deal.
million with deferred money.
Yeah, the Cubs signed him to 5 years, 175, 70 million of that is going to be deferred.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see I didn't see the contract on it.
Yeah, 70 million of that's going to be deferred by deferring.
I just said it twice. I said it twice. You told me to be quiet. I gave the answer twice.
By deferring
deferring
the money, it keeps them under that. For whatever reason, the Cubs ownership does not want to cross that first luxury tax tier. So by deferring the money, it keeps them $7 or $8 million under that first luxury tax, which allows them to do one more addition if they want to make one more addition.
My question is this: how does that now affect Tucker? Do you think Tucker will stay with the Cubs, or do you think he's going?
Cubs don't want Tucker back. After the crap that Tucker had put that team through last year, they want nothing to do with him. Nothing to do with him at all.
Okay. So who do you think picks him up then?
At this point, nobody. At this point, the guy he is the only free agent on the open market right now that has not had one formal offer presented to him.
Wow.
That's
crazy. Like, how did he was doing he played so well for Houston? What happened between Houston and Chicago?
He got hurt last year he broke his thumb or whatever sliding into second base. And he ended up, instead of telling the team, "Oh, I broke my thumb," he tried to play through it for like 2.5 weeks and made the situation worse. Then he ended up hurting his hamstring later in the season. But what ultimately hurt the relationship between the Cubs and Tucker is when he hurt his hamstring, instead of staying in Chicago to work out like with the team at the facility and just kind of use their trainers to heal him back to health, he told the team that he wanted to step away from the team to go to Tampa Bay and work out at his own facility. So he left the team for 2 weeks to go to Tampa Bay doing his own workouts and then came back and still couldn't do crap when he come back. And that's kind of when the Cubs are like, well, if you're not going to stay here and rehab, that kind of shows you that you're not a team player and you don't really want to be around the team.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I was surprised to see that Bregman's on-base percentage was under 400.
There's not too many people in baseball that have an on-base percentage over 400.
I think he had like a point, was it 320 or something like that? I don't know. I mean, I always thought the 320. I always thought it went to 700. Is it? That's why I was made that statement. Does it not go to 7? What is the ceiling for that?
On-base percentage, if you're considered to be elite, you're in the 370 to 380 range, which means you're getting on base roughly 38% of the time. That counts as like base hits and walks. When the thing that you're talking about is like your on base plus slugging, so it's the on base percentage.
I think that might be the okay.
Yeah, because if you're the only player in baseball that I think he may have even been at a 400 on base percentage was Aaron Judge. Otherwise, nobody else really is kind of in that 370, 380 range because strikeouts are at an all-time high. Yep. Players aren't walking as much as they used to. Players aren't making contact as much as they used to. Back when Tony Gwynn played, you'd have guys in the 390, 400, 410 on base percentage consistently. Now 360 is considered good and 370 is considered elite.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
well, that's because 250 is considered a great batting average now.
Yeah. I mean, the league average across the league, if you take every single baseball player that played baseball last year and you average all their batting averages out, the league average batting average last year was 239.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah,
I was thinking 245. I thought
No,
it
it
was
was
a batting
239 was the league average for batting, and the league average for on base percentage, I think it was like 337.
Okay.
So like people just they don't care about striking out anymore. They don't care about making consistent contact. Now it's basically the home run or bust game where if you strike out 4 times in one game, but then your 5th plate appearance, you're hitting a 3-run home run. Nobody really cares about what you did those previous 4 plate appearances. You hit a 3-run homer.
No, exactly.
I mean, they got a good player in
Especially if it was to
Bregman.
win the game.
Right?
Yeah.
And we
Exactly.
saw that last year a couple times where players would be 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts, but then all of a sudden they come up in the bottom of the 9th, walk off 2-run homer. Nobody cares what you did the first 5 plate appearances. You just won the game with a 2-run shot.
No, that's why everybody's so.
I think he froze.
Yeah,
pretty good.
baseball's whacked. I can't wait for it to start to come back because the pendulum always swings. It's going to come back to actually where teams that have speed and can steal bases, the Reds are trying to do it.
The Brewers were the team last year that kind of played that old school baseball because they didn't have a ton of home run power. They had, I think, Christian Yelich and William Contreras had the power, but the Brewers were stealing bases left and right. They had like 7 guys on their team that had at least 20 steals last year. Like the Brewers were just stealing bases left and right last year.
Right. And the Reds
Oh.
kind of do the same thing.
Well, with this current Dodgers lineup, now that they've been pretty much upgraded every spot, how many World Series do you think they get out of this?
I say they get 2 more. I'm not
Do they
saying
get 2 more?
I'm not saying they're going to three-peat this year, but I think they get 2 more World Series with this group of players that they have before they'll have to start blowing it up or before they have to start trading.
That's the internet saying, hey, you know what? We should probably get out of here. We are at that mark. If you've been watching along with us, be sure to like and subscribe. Otherwise, we are going to get out of here because the internet apparently needs us to do that. See y'all tomorrow.
And you don't even live in a forest.